Hello friends, welcome to another lecture of machine design, and in today's lecture we are going to see design of shafts and design of springs, which are the easiest topics of machine design. तो अगर इस टॉपिक से कोई भी क्वेश्चन आता है तो गारंटी है कि आप उसके न्यूमेरिकल्स आराम से बना लोगे. Now, if you are coming to this channel for the first time, let me tell you about our channel Unacademy Gate ME, which is a YouTube channel dedicated for mechanical engineering students. इस चैनल पे सिर्फ मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग से रिलेटेड लेक्चर्स ही अपलोड किए जाते हैं एंड दिस इज द टीम ऑफ अन अकेडमी गेट एमी विच कंसिस्ट ऑफ सम ऑफ द फाइनेस्ट टीचर्स इन इंडिया राइट नाउ. सो डोंट फॉरगेट to subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon so that you will be notified whenever we are live. And इस चैनल को और बड़ा करने के लिए, इस चैनल को हर एक स्टूडेंट्स तक पहुंचाने के लिए हमें आपके हेल्प की जरूरत है, आपके कंट्रीब्यूशन की जरूरत है. सो प्लीज कॉपी द लिंक ऑफ दिस वीडियो and share it on your Facebook and WhatsApp so that we can grow in numbers and we can reach to maximum number of students. This is free education, guys. This is free education. So everyone has a right to get free education here. So please help us to grow in numbers, help us to reach to everyone by sharing the link of our videos on Facebook and WhatsApp, my friend. Okay? And we have a few more things for you. We have our own Telegram channel called Unacademy Gate ME. It has the similar name to our YouTube channel. नाम जो है वो YouTube चैनल की तरह ही है, Unacademy Gate ME, और इसका लिंक जो है डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिया हुआ है. अगर आपको लिंक क्लिक करने पे कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है, डोंट वरी, आप टेलीग्राम पे जाके चैनल का नाम सर्च कर सकते हैं, Unacademy Gate ME. Here we are going to post all the relevant study material related to our lectures. हमारे लेक्चर्स के जितने भी पीडीएफ हैं वो इसी टेलीग्राम चैनल पे अपलोड होते हैं. तो प्लीज डोंट फॉरगेट टू फॉलो दिस चैनल एंड वी हैव आवर ओन फेसबुक ग्रुप. So please don't forget to be a part of this Facebook group. We take live sessions in this Facebook group. The link is in the description of the video. So don't forget to follow this Facebook group also. Now, if you are watching me for the first time, let me introduce myself. My name is Aprup Rao. I am an MTech from IIT Kharagpur. My specialization was mechanical systems design. After my specialization, after my PG, I worked in Mahindra Research Valley, which is the research and development center of Mahindra and Mahindra cars and tractors. The cars and tractors of Mahindra and Mahindra, like XUV, KUV, TUV, are designed there. So I worked there for 2 years as a deputy manager. My work was related to the design and analysis of the body parts of cars. But after 2 years, I quit my job and I started teaching because I always wanted to teach. So I started teaching. I've been teaching for more than 6 years now. I've taught thousands of students across the India, and I teach subjects related to design, strength of materials, machine design, engineering mechanics, theory of machines, and these are some of the other members of my team, which are one of the finest teachers of India. Mr. Devendra Singh Negi, Mr. Pallav, Amit Dikshit sir, Alok sir, Prakhar sir, everyone teaches well. They are teaching on YouTube channel Unacademy Gate ME, and they are also teaching on the Unacademy Plus platform. So don't forget to follow us on Unacademy Plus platform also. Okay, now my friend, let's start with today's topic. Let's start with today's lecture. आज का हमारा जो लेक्चर है उसमें हम दो कंपोनेंट्स, दो मशीन एलिमेंट्स डिजाइन करने वाले हैं, शाफ्ट्स एंड स्प्रिंग्स. ओके, और ये जो डिजाइन प्रोसेस है बहुत ही सिंपल है क्योंकि इनका जो काफी कुछ पार्ट है वो हम स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ मटेरियल में ऑलरेडी कवर कर चुके हैं. तो काफी कुछ कॉन्सेप्ट्स जो है वो सिमिलर है स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ मटेरियल से. इनफैक्ट सारी चीजें जो है स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ मटेरियल पे ही बेस्ड है. सो यू विल हैव नो प्रॉब्लम अंडरस्टैंडिंग दीज कॉन्सेप्ट्स. ओके, सो लेट्स फर्स्ट स्टार्ट विद द डिजाइन ऑफ शाफ्ट. ओके, व्हाट इज अ शाफ्ट? Shaft is a rotating member, usually of circular section, used to transfer power or motion. Although shaft का cross section non circular भी हो सकता है, but non circular shafts are not in our syllabus. Okay, so we don't deal with non circular shafts. In our syllabus we only deal with circular shafts. Okay, so shafts are usually of circular cross section and they are used to transfer power or motion, my friend. they provide the axis of rotation of elements such as gears, pulleys, flywheels. गियर, पुली या फ्लाईव्हील, इनके लिए ये एक्सिस ऑफ रोटेशन का काम करते हैं. गियर्स को, पुलीज को हम शाफ्ट के ऊपर माउंट करते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल दिस इज gear. Okay, so you can see that these gears are mounted on shafts. Okay, so shafts are subjected to the load acting between the gears. जब गियर्स आपस में कनेक्ट होंगे पावर ट्रांसफर करने के लिए, तो वो एक दूसरे के ऊपर फोर्स लगाएंगे. ये फोर्स जो है शाफ्ट के ऊपर एक्ट करेगा. सो शाफ्ट्स आर सब्जेक्टेड टू दीज फोर्सेस ऑफ गियर्स एंड दे आर ऑल्सो सब्जेक्टेड टू टॉर्क. क्योंकि पावर ट्रांसफर हो रहा है मतलब टॉर्क होगा. तो शाफ्ट के ऊपर क्या क्या लग रहा है माय फ्रेंड्स? शाफ्ट के ऊपर इन गियर्स का फोर्स भी लग रहा है और शाफ्ट के ऊपर टॉर्क भी लग रहा है. ओके, सो दीज आर सम ऑफ द लोड्स acting on the shaft. Now we need to see how we can design this shaft. Now designing the shaft means what? Designing the shaft means selecting the layout of the shaft, कि कहां पर कौन सा गियर फिट होगा, कहां पर क्या पुली फिट होगी. Then selecting the proper material of the shaft, कौन सा मटेरियल होना चाहिए शाफ्ट का ताकि वो फेल ना हो. It should have adequate strength. Then finding a suitable diameter of the shaft. Okay, this is the most important thing. Finding a safe diameter of the shaft so that the material is not wasted. अगर आप बहुत ज्यादा diameter यूज करेंगे तो क्या होगा? Material waste होगा. And the shaft should not break or it should not yield. shaft में किसी तरीके का failure नहीं होना चाहिए when it is transferring power, my friend. Okay, so हमारे इस सिलेबस में हमको क्या देखना है? वी नीड टू फाइंड द डायामीटर ऑफ शाफ्ट. ओके, वी नीड टू फाइंड अ सुटेबल डायामीटर ऑफ द शाफ्ट. सो वी विल सी हाउ वी कैन फाइंड द डायामीटर ऑफ शाफ्ट. नाउ द डिजाइनिंग ऑफ शाफ्ट कैन बी डन बेस्ड ऑन द स्ट्रेंथ and based on the rigidity. Now what is strength and rigidity? Strength means when the shaft is subjected to all these loads, then it should not fail. Okay, due to these loads it should not fail by yielding or by breaking. So we need to see that the maximum stress is within the limit. Okay, the maximum stress should be within the limit. If the stress crosses the limit, then it will fail, right? Let's say shaft का जो material है, let's say the material of the shaft can only sustain 300 megapascal. Okay, if the stresses are below 300 megapascal, shaft will not fail. But if the stresses are above 300 megapascal, the shaft is going to fail, right? Either by yielding or by fracture, right? Usually shafts are made of ductile materials, so they fail by yielding. So if the stress reaches the yield point, then the shaft will fail by yielding, right? So if you want to keep the stresses within the limit, then it means you are designing based on strength. Okay, तो यहां हम जो डिजाइन करेंगे उसका क्राइटेरिया क्या होगा? द क्राइटेरिया विल बी tau maximum. The tau maximum means maximum shear stress should be within the limit. Why tau maximum? Because we are using maximum shear stress theory. Why? Because the shaft materials are usually ductile material. Okay, if it is a brittle material, which theory do we use? We use maximum normal stress theory, sigma maximum. And if it is a ductile material, we have two theories, shear stress theory and maximum distortion energy theory. But here we are going to use shear stress theory. Why? क्योंकि ये ज्यादा सिंपल है और ये ज्यादा कंजर्वेटिव है, ज्यादा आप सेफ रहते हो. ओके, इट इज सिंपलर एंड सेफर. That's why we are going to use maximum shear stress theory. So here what is our criteria based on strength? Our criteria will be tau maximum. Tau maximum on the shaft should be within the limit. Now rigidity means what? It is the resistance against deformation. Okay, if the shaft is not rigid, then deformation will be very high, and if the deformation crosses the limit, then we will think that the shaft has failed. यहां पे टाउ मैक्सिमम इज द लिमिट. अगर टाउ मैक्सिमम ज्यादा हो जाएगा तो शाफ्ट फेल हो जाएगा. यहां पे क्या होगी लिमिट? यहां पे द लिमिट विल बी थीटा मैक्सिमम. अगर थीटा मैक्सिमम लिमिट से ज्यादा हो जाएगा तो हम सोचेंगे कि शाफ्ट फेल हो गया. तो शाफ्ट शुड बी स्ट्रॉन्ग इनफ एंड इट शुड बी रिजिड इनफ. टाउ मैक्सिमम शुड बी विद इन द लिमिट. थीटा मैक्सिमम शुड ऑल्सो बी विद इन द लिमिट. So in both the cases, the equation, the design equation is different. Okay, in both the cases, the design equation is different. Let's say you are calculating the diameter. let's say you are calculating the diameter of a shaft, then you can find the diameter based on strength. You can also find the diameter based on rigidity. Okay, so you can find two different diameters. So let's say based on strength you are getting 100 diameter, means at least it should have 100 diameter, and based on rigidity it should at least have 120 diameter. Then which one is the safe value? Which one is the safe value? I told you this, whenever there are two dimensions, there are two values for any size, then which one will you pick? You will pick the maximum one. You will pick the maximum one. That will be the safe choice. Between the two dimensions, maximum will be the safe value, and between the two loads, if you are calculating load, then minimum will be the safe choice. Okay, do you understand this? I have already covered this in previous lectures. I have already covered this. Whenever you are calculating dimension, diameter, area, height, width, all these dimensions are calculated and you are getting two different values, then which one will be the safe one? Maximum one. And when you are calculating the load, torque, bending moment, force, when you are calculating the load and you are getting two different values, which one will be the safe choice? The minimum one will be the safe choice. Okay, तो यहाँ हमारे पास दो criteria है. We have tau maximum. We can use tau maximum to find the diameter, and we can use theta maximum to find the diameter. So if you have both these criteria, then you will calculate the diameter from both these, and maximum diameter will be the safe choice. Do you understand this? So let's see what are the design equations based on strength and what are the design equations based on rigidity. One by one we will see the design equations. Now I need to tell you that we have already covered this in torsion chapter. We have already covered this in strength of materials, but still from design point of view, machine design point of view, I am again going to cover this. Okay, so the equations and all we have already derived in strength of material, but again we will repeat it, okay, from machine design point of view. So let's first design the shaft based on strength, and by designing I mean we are going to find the suitable diameter, safe diameter. Okay, so my friend, let's consider a circular shaft. Okay, let's consider a circular shaft. Yahan we have a cylindrical shape, so I am going to use this. So let's say we have this cylindrical shaft. Okay, now shafts are subjected to bending moment and twisting moment, my friend. Okay, shafts are subjected to twisting moment like this. Shaft will be subjected to twisting moment like this. Okay, let's say it is subjected to torque T, and shafts are also subjected to load. I told you gears are mounted on shaft, pulleys are mounted on shaft, so these bodies are applying load on each other, so this load is also acting. Okay, so shafts are subjected to bending moment also. Okay, they are subjected to twisting moment and they are also subjected to bending moment. Let's say, my friend, let's say bending moment is equal to m. Okay, and this we already know. Okay, let's say we have already calculated what is the maximum bending moment. It is equal to m, and torque acting on the shaft is equal to T, and we need to find diameter of the shaft. Okay, which theory we are going to use? We are going to use maximum shear stress theory. Okay, we are going to use maximum shear stress theory. Okay, we are going to use maximum shear stress theory because the material of the shaft is ductile. As material of shaft is usually ductile. Usually we have ductile material, right? We will use which theory? Maximum shear stress theory. Why maximum shear stress theory? Why not maximum distortion energy theory? Because maximum shear stress theory is more easier to solve, and it is conservative, means it is safer. Okay, between shear stress theory and von Mises theory is more accurate, but shear stress theory is easier to solve and it is more conservative, means it is safer. Okay, if you have two theories, shear stress theory and von Mises theory, and you are calculating the diameter, which one will give you more value? Shear stress theory will give you more value. This we have already covered in theories of failure. Okay, this we have already covered in theories of failure. Shear stress theory will give you more diameter, so we are going to use this theory because we will be safe. Okay, so what is the equation, my friend? According to shear stress theory, tau maximum is equal to SYT by 2FOS. Tau maximum is equal to SYT by 2FOS, where SYT is what? Yield strength in tension. SYT is what? Yield strength in tension. Now, my friends, sometimes directly shear strength is given. Okay, sometimes directly shear strength is given. This is the tensile strength. If directly shear strength is given, then you can write this: tau maximum equals to SYS by FOS. Tau maximum is equal to SYS by FOS. So if directly shear strength is given, let's say in a problem directly shear strength is given, okay, then you can use directly shear strength. If shear strength is not given, tensile strength is given, then you can use this SYT by 2FOS. And if directly shear strength is mentioned, then you can use this. Okay, why? Because according to maximum shear stress theory, SYS is SYT by 2, right? We have already derived this in theories of failure. We have derived this. Shear strength is half of tensile strength according to maximum shear stress theory. So if tensile strength is given, use this equation. If shear strength is given, use this equation. Okay, but my friend, we need to find the equation of tau maximum. What is the equation of tau maximum? We need to find that. Okay, so we are saying that it is subjected to bending moment M and torque T. What will be tau maximum? Okay, so due to bending moment, M, which stress will be developed? Due to bending moment, which stress will be developed? Bending stress, and its value will be equal to 32 m by pi d cube. This we have already seen. In case of strength of material. When we have seen strength of material, we have already seen bending stress will be 32 m by pi d cube for circular cross section. Okay, and due to torque, which stress will be developed? Torsional stress. What will be the torsional stress? 16 t by pi d cube. This we have already covered in strength of material. Okay, 32 m by pi d cube, 16 t by pi d cube. Okay, so if you have a circular shaft, consider a small element. Okay, so sigma b will be acting like this. Okay, sigma b will be acting like this. And shear stress will be acting like this. Right? So consider this element. Let's move on to the next page. Consider this element. We have two different stresses. We have sigma b and we have tau. Okay, we have sigma b acting like this and we have tau. I have explained this in very detail in combined loading. Okay, if you want to see this in detail, then you can see my lecture on combined loading. Okay, you can see my lecture on combined loading. So this is sigma b and this is tau. Okay, now my friend, we need to calculate tau maximum. Okay, we need to calculate tau maximum. We need tau maximum, right? So sigma b and tau, these are the two stresses and we need to calculate tau maximum. Okay, so what do we do in this case, my friend? What do we do in this case? We use the equation of principal stresses to find principal stresses, and then using principal stresses we are going to find tau maximum, right? So what will be the equation of principal stress? Sigma 1 2 will be equal to sigma x plus sigma y by 2 plus minus root over sigma x minus sigma y by 2 whole square plus tau xy square. This is the equation of principal stresses, right? Here sigma x will be sigma b, sigma y will be 0, and instead of tau xy we will put tau. Okay, so what we will get? What we will get? We will get this sigma b by 2 plus minus root over sigma b by 2 whole square plus tau square, right? Now put the values in the equation. What you are going to get? Put the values in the equation. What you are going to get? Sigma 1 2 will be equal to, what is sigma b? Sigma b is 32 m by pi d cube. So if you put it 32 m by pi d cube divided by 2, what you will get? 16 m by pi d cube plus minus root over I have already derived this, that's why I am going quickly. Okay, 16 m by pi d cube whole square plus tau xy square, so 16 t by pi d cube whole square, right? We have just put the values of sigma b and tau. Okay, now my friend, in this equation 16 by pi d cube is common, so let's take that common. So what we will get? M plus minus root over m square plus t square, right? We are going to get this. Sigma 1 will be when you will use the plus value, and if you use the minus value you will get sigma 2. Now what will be tau maximum? Tau maximum is going to be sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2. Okay, we have already covered this in strength of material. Okay, हमने ये पहले ही strength of material में बहुत डिटेल में कवर किया है combined loading के चैप्टर में. So if you have not watched my video on strength of material, go and watch combined loading. I have explained this in very great detail. Okay, so if you put the values here, what you will get? If you put the values here, sigma 1 and sigma 2, what you will get? You will get this 16 by pi d cube root over m square plus t square. So this is your equation of tau maximum. This is your equation of tau maximum. You can use this equation. You can use this equation to find tau maximum, and then you will put it in this equation. Okay, you will use this equation to find tau maximum, and then you will put it in this equation and you will get the diameter. Okay, how this is done? Let's understand using an example. Okay, you have to remember this equation 16 by pi d cube root over m square plus t square. You have to remember this equation. So if you have to find the suitable diameter of the shaft, just put the values in this equation, okay, and put it here and you will get the diameter. Okay, so let's solve one numerical to understand how it is done. So we have this numerical. I want you to solve this numerical on your own. You have the equation 16 by pi d cube root over m square plus t square. You can put it in the equation of maximum shear stress theory and you can find the diameter. Okay, so let's see this numerical. A solid circular shaft is subjected to bending moment of 3000 Newton meter and torque of 10,000 Newton meter. Shaft is made of 45C8 steel. It is a ductile material having ultimate shear stress of 500 megapascal. See, my friend, they have directly given shear strength. Okay, they have directly given shear strength. So no need of using this. We can directly use this. Tau max equals to SYS by FOS. We directly have SYS, shear strength. Okay. Factor of safety is 6. Determine the diameter of the shaft. I just want you to put the values in the equation and find the diameter. Okay. So what is our equation? What is our equation? Our equation is this. According to maximum shear stress theory, tau maximum equals to SYS by FOS, right? And what is the equation of tau maximum? 16 by pi d cube root over m square plus t square equals to SYS divided by FOS. Now in this equation, you have bending moment, you have twisting moment, you have SYS, you have FOS. What is unknown? Only diameter is unknown. So put the values in the equation and find out the diameter. I want you to put the values in this equation and find out what will be the suitable diameter. Find out what will be the safe value of diameter. Just put the values in the equation, my friend. Okay. So what will be the equation if you put the values? 16 by pi d cube root over. Now my friend, this bending moment and twisting moment are given in Newton meter. We need to convert them into Newton mm. Okay, इनको Newton mm में convert करना पड़ेगा. So 10 to the power 3 से multiply करेंगे. तो 10 to the power 3 को common ले लेते हैं. 10 to the power 3 को common ले लेते हैं. तो यहाँ आपको क्या मिलेगा? What you are going to get? What you are going to get? 3000 square plus 10,000 square. 10 to the power 3 is common. 10 to the power 3 is common. Okay. Equal to SYS by FOS. SYS is 500. FOS is 6. Equal to 500 divided by 6. So what will be the diameter? What will be the diameter? Calculate it. Calculate it. Calculate the diameter. Calculate the diameter, my friend. So it will become like this. 16 root over 3000 square plus 10,000 square. I want you to make your own calculation. Okay, I want you to make your own calculation. Divided by, this will be multiplied by 6 also. I want you to make your own calculation. mm. I am getting this value. 86 mm, right? So this is the safe diameter. The diameter should at least be 86. Okay, it should at least be 86. It should not be less than 86. Otherwise, what is going to happen? It is going to yield. Okay, it is a ductile material, so it will fail by yielding. So if the diameter is less than 86 mm, it is going to yield. If it is more than 86 mm, it is going to be safe. So this is design based on strength, my friend. This is design based on strength. Do you understand this? We have already covered this in strength of material. This is nothing new. We have already seen this in strength of material. We have even solved this type of numerical, right? So this is nothing new. Okay. Now, my friend, design based on rigidity. Design of shaft based on rigidity. So my friend, based on rigidity, we have this equation. Torsion equation. You might remember this equation. Torsion equation. T by J equals to G theta by L. So from this equation, what will be theta? What will be theta? Theta will be equal to TL by GJ. So this is your equation based on rigidity. If I give you a value of theta maximum, that theta maximum should be 1 radian or 2 radian, then you can put the value here. You can put the value of torque, length, g. J will be in terms of diameter, right? Pi by 32 d to the power 4. Okay, pi by 32 d to the power 4. So you can easily calculate the value of diameter, right? If you put the value here, what you will get? If you put the value here, what you will get? See, theta will be equal to TL by G into J will be pi by 32 d to the power 4, right? So if I calculate d to the power 4, what I will get? D to the power 4, what I will get? 32L by G pi theta. 32 TL by G pi theta, right? 32 will go up, G pi theta, okay? So this you are getting. So my friend, by putting the values in this equation, you can calculate the diameter, right? If I give you torque, length, G, pi and theta, you can easily calculate the diameter. So this is design based on rigidity. Okay. So you can calculate the diameter from equation of strength, and you can calculate the diameter from equation of rigidity. Whichever is maximum, you are going to use that. Okay. That will be the safe value. If you have both the values, tau maximum, theta maximum, calculate diameter from tau maximum separately, calculate diameter from theta maximum separately, maximum one will be the answer. Okay. So this was design of shaft, which is nothing new, my friend. All these concepts are already covered in strength of material. Okay. All these we have already covered in strength of material. So this is nothing new. Let's move on to springs. This is a new topic. For us, springs. We have not seen springs in strength of material, although it should also be covered in strength of material, but we are going to cover springs in machine design. Okay, so we are going to design the springs. So let's see what is a spring. So a spring is defined as an elastic body whose function is to distort when loaded and to recover to its original shape when load is removed. Means spring is an element which deforms under the load, and when you remove the load, it moves back to its original shape. Okay, so that is a general definition of spring. We have all seen springs in different applications. Okay, what are the different applications? The different application is, first is to absorb shocks and vibration, which is the very important application in case of machineries. Whenever there is shock and vibration, you need to damp that vibration. You need to absorb that vibration. You need to absorb that shock. And in order to absorb that shock and vibration, what do we use? We use springs. Okay, example, suspension of your vehicles, suspension in bikes, suspension in cars, they use springs. Okay, you might have seen helical spring in the suspension of motorbikes, right? In the suspension of motorbikes, we see helical spring. Why there is helical spring? In order to absorb the shock, my friend. Okay. Second function is to store energy. For example, clocks. Okay. When your clock moves, why it is moving? Due to the energy supplied by spring, my friend. Spring stores the energy and then it provides the energy. Okay. Or for example, toys. You might have used that toy जिसमें चाबी भरते थे और फिर वो टॉय चलता था। कार, बचपन में आपने खेला होगा, कार में चाबी भरते हैं और फिर कार चलती है। तो जब चाबी भर रहे होते हैं तो क्या होता है? स्प्रिंग जो होती है वो एनर्जी को अब्सॉर्ब कर रही होती है और फिर जब हम छोड़ देते हैं उसको तो स्प्रिंग उस एनर्जी को डेसिपेट करती है, जिसकी वजह से गाड़ी चलती है। ओके, सो दैट इज अनदर फंक्शन ऑफ स्प्रिंग, टू स्टोर एनर्जी। अनदर फंक्शन इज टू कंट्रोल मोशन बाय मेंटेनिंग कॉन्टैक्ट बिटवीन द टू एलिमेंट्स। कैम्स एंड फॉलोअर्स में आपने देखा होगा, कैम एंड फॉलोअर में मोशन को कंट्रोल करने के लिए वी यूज स्प्रिंग। देन टू मेजर फोर्स, वेइंग मशीन, तराजू, ये सारी चीजों पे स्प्रिंग यूज होता है। व्हाई? टू मेजर द फोर्स, माय फ्रेंड। ओके, स्प्रिंग बैलेंस हम यूज करते हैं, वेइंग मशीन यूज करते हैं, इन सब में क्या होता है? स्प्रिंग यूज होती है टू मेजर force. Okay, so these are some of the functions of springs. Major function is this, to absorb shocks and vibration. Okay, suspension point of view से अगर हम देखें, major function यही है, to absorb shocks and vibration. Okay, Now what are the different types of spring? There are different types of springs. Okay, for different types of loads there are different types of spring. The first and the foremost spring, the most important spring is helical spring. Okay, where do we use helical spring? Where do we use helical spring? Helical springs are used to support axial loads. Helical springs are used to support axial loads. Okay, let's say this is the spring. Okay, let's say this is the spring and this is the axis of the spring. Helical spring is like this, helix, in the form of helix. Sorry. So helical spring is in the form of helix. This is the axis of the spring. So the load is acting along the axis. Okay. So helical springs are used to support axial loads. There are two types of helical springs: closed coil, open coil. Closed coil, open coil. What is the difference between two? Can you see? Can you see the difference? Closed coil, open coil. Can you see the difference? Look at the gap between the coils. You get the gap between the number of turns. Here the gap is negligible. Here the gap is negligible. And here there is sufficient gap between the turns, right? There is enough gap between the turns. Okay. Closed coil helical springs are designed to support axial tensile load. Okay. This is the axis of the spring. This is the axis of the spring. Okay. This is the axis of the spring. This is the axis of the spring. So closed coil helical springs are subjected to axial tensile load because they cannot be compressed ना. They cannot be compressed. जगह ही नहीं है कंप्रेशन के लिए. कैसे कंप्रेस होगा? जगह दिख रही है क्या? तो कंप्रेस हो सकता है क्या? नो, बट इट विल एलोंगेट. ओके, स्प्रिंग का काम क्या है? डिफॉर्म होना. ओके, फंक्शन क्या है स्प्रिंग का? डिफॉर्म होना. तो डिफॉर्म तभी होगा ना जब जगह होगी. अगर कंप्रेस करोगे डिफॉर्म होने के लिए जगह दिख रही है? नो, देयर इज नो स्पेस ना. In order to deform, the function of spring is to deform and then regain its original shape. Okay, so will it be able to deform under compressive load? No, because there is no gap. So it is subjected to axial tensile load. And open coil springs, they are subjected to axial compressive loads. So both are subjected to axial load, but in one case the load is tensile, in one case the load is compressive. Okay, like this. This is subjected to axial compressive load. Do you understand this? So this is subjected to axial tensile load and this is subjected to axial compressive load. There is enough gap between the number of turns in case of open coil, and here in case of closed coil there is no gap. Okay, almost no gap. Okay, usually my friend you will see open coil helical spring. Okay, usually you will see open coil helical spring. Usually okay, you will see open coil helical spring in suspensions. ओपन कॉइल हेलिकल स्प्रिंग्स, सस्पेंशन में ओपन कॉइल हेलिकल स्प्रिंग यूज होता है. क्लोज कॉइल हेलिकल स्प्रिंग, एग्जांपल ऑफ क्लोज कॉइल हेलिकल स्प्रिंग, तराजू, weighing machines, okay, weighing balance. In that case we use closed coil helical spring. Okay, so day to day life में we use open coil helical spring. पेन में भी जो स्प्रिंग यूज होती है that is open coil helical spring because it is subjected to compression ना. So it is open coil helical spring. Okay, so closed coil helical springs are rarely used. Majorly we use open coil helical spring. Do you understand this? They are used to support axial load. In one case it is subjected to tensile axial load, in one case it is subjected to compressive axial load. Okay, then my friend torsional spring. Okay, now where do you see torsional spring? Example of torsional spring, आपको ध्यान में होगा इस टाइप का स्प्रिंग आपने कहां देखा है? Where have you seen this type of spring? Clips, right? आप जो यूज करते हो बोर्ड, क्लिप बोर्ड यूज करते हो, उसका जो क्लिप होता है उसमें दिस स्प्रिंग इज यूज्ड. डोर्स में जो ऑटोमेटिक ओपन और क्लोज होते हैं डोर्स, जिसको थोड़ा खोल दो फिर वापस वो अपने आप ऑटोमेटिकली क्लोज हो जाता है, उसमें दिस टाइप ऑफ स्प्रिंग इज यूज्ड. ओके, सो टॉर्शन स्प्रिंग्स, these are also a type of helical spring. इसमें भी number of turns होते हैं, but they are not used to support axial load. They are used to support this torsion. Okay, torsion apply करते हैं हम, torsion apply करते हैं इसके ऊपर. Okay, तो clipboard में we use torsion spring. Leaf spring. Leaf springs are used to support bending. Okay, leaf spring is used to support bending. Now where do you see this type of spring? Where do you see this type of spring? Leaf spring कहाँ देखा है? Leaf spring कहाँ देखा है? Leaf spring we see in heavy vehicles, trucks में, buses में, lorry में आपने देखा होगा लीफ स्प्रिंग. Why? Because they are subjected to heavy load. तो उसकी वजह से जो बेंडिंग होती है उसको सपोर्ट करने के लिए we use leaf spring, my friend. They are subjected to bending. Okay, leaf spring they are subjected to bending. Okay, so why it is called leaf spring? See, जो स्टील की प्लेट्स हैं अलग अलग लीव्स में ऐसी लगी होती हैं और फिर उनको हम कनेक्ट करते हैं सो दैट इट कैन सपोर्ट बेंडिंग, माय फ्रेंड. ओके, इट कैन सपोर्ट बेंडिंग. सो लीफ स्प्रिंग इज यूज्ड इन हेवी व्हीकल्स, ट्रक्स, buses, lorries, these type of vehicles where a heavy load is applied, so we need to support bending. Okay, so these are the different types of spring. But my friend, हमारे syllabus में we need to only see helical spring. और उसमें भी कौन सा helical spring? Closed coil helical spring. In our syllabus we only need to design closed coil helical spring. Okay, not open coil helical spring, not torsion spring, not leaf spring. We will only design one spring, closed coil helical spring. Okay, so let's see a closed coil helical spring. Okay, let's see a closed coil helical spring. Let's say we have a closed coil helical spring. Now my friend, what is the difference between a closed coil and an open coil helical spring? Let's first understand this, because if you are thinking why we are not considering open coil helical spring, let's understand this. Okay, this is the load acting on the closed coil helical spring, a tensile load, and this is the cross section. This is the cross section. Okay, let's consider one cross section. Let's consider one cross section. Let's consider this cross section. Okay, now my friend, this cross sectional plane can almost be considered vertical. Okay, क्योंकि ये जो एंगल है, ये जो एंगल है, सॉरी, ये जो एंगल है, दिस एंगल इज वेरी लेस. दिस एंगल इज वेरी लेस. दिस एंगल, let's call it theta, is known as the helix angle. And for closed coil helical spring, theta is less than 10 degree. Okay, for closed coil helical spring, theta is less than 10 degree. So that's why we can consider this to be like this. Okay, ये जो एक टर्न है इसको हम इस तरीके से अज्यूम कर सकते हैं, नॉट लाइक दिस, वी कैन अज्यूम इट टू बी लाइक दिस. ओके, सो ये जो प्लेन है इट इज ऑलमोस्ट वर्टिकल, नॉट इंक्लाइंड. ओके, बट इफ इट इज ओपन कॉइल हेलिकल स्प्रिंग इट विल बी लाइक दिस, inclined. It will be like this, inclined. Okay, the load is acting like this and it is like this, so there is some angle between the load and the plane. Here the load is acting like this. Okay, here the load is acting like this, but in case of open coil it will be inclined like this, the load is acting like this. तो बहुत ज्यादा इंक्लिनेशन होता है लोड का और प्लेन का. ओके, यहां हम ऑलमोस्ट मान सकते हैं कि ये एंगल जो है बहुत छोटा है, सो इट इज लाइक दिस. ओके, बट इन केस ऑफ ओपन कॉइल इट इज लाइक दिस. तो ये जो एंगल होता है लोड के बीच में और प्लेन के बीच में, इसकी वजह से हमको क्या करना पड़ता है, इन केस ऑफ ओपन कॉइल यू विल हैव टू resolve this force into different components. You will have to resolve this force into different components. Here we don't need to resolve this force. We can almost consider it to be like this. But in case of open coil, it will be like this. Load is acting like this, vertical, and this plane is inclined. Okay. So here we will assume that as the angle is very less, this load is parallel to this plane. Okay, if the angle is very less, the load is parallel to this plane. It is not inclined to this plane. Okay, in case of open coil it is inclined to the plane, so we will have to resolve the force. Okay, now my friend, क्या क्या चीजें होती हैं यहाँ पे स्प्रिंग के केस में? What are the parameters? One parameter we have already seen, helix angle. Capital D, this capital D. Okay, from this center to this center. Okay, ये वाला जो सेंटर दिख रहा है, इस सेंटर से इस सेंटर के बीच में, this distance is capital D, which is known as mean coil diameter. This is known as mean coil diameter. It is known as mean coil diameter. Then this small d, the diameter of this wire is known as wire diameter. Small d is known as wire diameter. Wire diameter. Let's say n is the number of turns. Okay, let's say n is the number of turns. Okay, so capital D mean coil diameter. Okay, जो helix form हो रहा है उसका diameter. Small d is the wire diameter and n is the number of turns. Okay, what do we need to do? We need to find the stress and the deformation of the spring. Okay, यहाँ पे भी we need to find the stress and the deformation, just like shaft. Okay, here we need to find the stress and the deformation. Okay, now in order to find the stress and deformation, what do we do, my friend? Spring जो है वो एक curved element है. Spring is a curved element. But my friend, in order to simplify the equation, in order to simplify the procedure, we assume that it is a straight member. Okay, understand this because all the procedure depends upon this. जो भी हम stress निकालने के लिए procedure करने वाले हैं वो इस चीज पे depend करता है. Spring के केस में, in the case of spring, what do we assume? Spring के केस में it is a curved member, but we assume that it is a straight member, so that our equations will be simple like this. हम क्या करेंगे? Spring को खोल देंगे. We will open this spring and we will assume that it is a straight member. Do you understand this, my friend? Do you understand this? It is very important to understand this because the calculations depend upon this. Calculation process is depending upon this. Okay, so spring is a curved member, but if you consider this curvature, then it will be very difficult to find the equation of stress, the equation of deformation. But if you open this and if you assume that it is a straight member, then the equation of stress and equation of deformation will be very easy to find. Okay, so this is our assumption that the spring is a straight member. Okay, although it is a curved member, the equations will be different, but we will assume that it is a straight member so that our equations will be very simple. Do you understand this? Now, my friend, we will calculate the stress and deformation. Okay, we will calculate the stress and deformation. So let's first find out the stress. So consider the cross section. Consider the cross section. Consider the cross section. Okay, in this cross section we need to find the stress. Okay, now my friend, the force is not passing through the cross section. The force is not passing through the centroid of cross section. Look at this. Look at this, my friend. From here you will understand better. Look at this, my friend. This is the center of the cross section, right? This is the center of the cross section and load is acting here. So there is some distance between, the load and the centroid. There is the distance between the load and the centroid. What is this distance? D by 2, right? D by 2. So what we will do, my friend? We will transfer this force P at the centroid. So we will get a force P and we will get a moment. How much will be the moment? Load is acting right here. Load is acting here, cross section is here. So I am transferring the load on the cross section. So I am getting a force P and a moment P into D by 2. Okay, and this moment will be which moment? This moment will be which moment? Bending moment or torque? This moment will be bending moment or twisting moment? I told you a very simple way to find whether it is a bending moment or twisting moment. Do you remember that? आपको याद है मैंने आपको बताया था बेंडिंग मोमेंट और ट्विस्टिंग मोमेंट के बीच का डिफरेंस. लेट्स से दिस इज द प्लेन. लेट्स से दिस इज द प्लेन. If the moment is acting about the normal axis of plane, if the moment is acting about the normal axis of plane, it is twisting moment, and if it is acting about the parallel axis of plane, it is bending moment. Okay, so my friend, this moment right now is acting about which axis? Normal axis or parallel axis? This moment is acting about the normal axis now. This is the cross section of the spring. Look at the cross section. This is the plane of the cross section and this is the axis about which it is acting. This is the axis about which bending moment is acting. So this moment will be twisting moment because it is acting about normal axis. This moment will be twisting moment. Moment about normal axis, twisting moment. So this moment will be a twisting moment. Okay. So my friend, this cross section is subjected to two loads. a force P and a torque PD by 2. Okay. Now look at this, my friend. Look at this force. This force is parallel to the cross section now. This force is acting parallel to the cross section. So which stress will be developed? Normal stress or shear stress? Sigma or tau? Due to this P, which stress will be developed? Sigma or tau? There will be tau, my friend, because this force is acting parallel. And this is a twisting moment. So due to twisting moment, which stress will be developed? Again, torsional stress, tau. So we will have 1 tau due to P and we will have 1 tau due to PD by 2, right? So due to P, which stress will be developed? Due to P, there will be direct shear stress. Due to V, there will be direct shear stress. Okay, due to P, there will be direct shear stress, tau equals to, what will be the value, my friend? Tau equals to P upon area. So it will be P upon pi by 4 d square, or I can write it 4p upon pi d square. Okay, this is due to P, direct shear stress. Okay, and due to PD by 2, which is the torque, there will be torsional shear stress. This will also be shear stress, but it will be torsional shear stress. Let's call it tau 1 and let's call it tau 2. Okay, so this will be equals to 16 T by pi d cube. Okay, 16 into T torque divided by pi d cube. So what will you get? 8 PD by pi d cube. Okay, so due to P, there is a direct shear stress tau 1, and due to PD by 2, there is a torsional shear stress tau 2. Now let's see how they are acting. What is the direction, my friend? Let's see how they are acting. Okay, so in order to understand that, I will consider the cross section. Okay, I will consider the cross section. This is the circular cross section. This is the circular cross section. Okay, I will explain you how these tau 1 and tau 2 are acting, and I will consider 4 points for that. Okay, I will consider 4 points for that. Let's consider this point. Okay, this point, this is the center, my friend. So this point, and this point. Okay, I will consider these 4 points: 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, my friend, what is the direction of P? P is acting downward. Okay, P is acting downward. So tau 1, which is developed to resist P, it will be acting upward. It will be acting upward like this, What will be the direction of tau 1? It will be like this. Why? Because it is resisting P na. So if there is stress developed to resist the force, its direction will be opposite to the force. So its direction is like this. This is what? This is tau 1. This is tau 1. Tau 1 here, tau 1 here, tau 1 here, tau 1 here. Do you understand this much? These stresses are developed to resist the force P. So they are acting opposite to the force. Now my friend, tau 2 is there to resist PD by 2. Okay, so let's say PD by 2 is acting like this. PD by 2 is acting anti-clockwise, right? PD by 2 is acting anti-clockwise like this. PD by 2 is acting anti-clockwise. To resist this moment, tau 2 is developed. And what will be the direction of tau 2? I explained you how direction of tau 2 will be calculated, right? Let's say at this point we need to find the direction of tau 2. Okay, for example, let's say at this point we need to find the direction of tau 2. I explained how we find the direction of tau 2. First, we will draw a straight line joining center and this point. Okay, we need to find the direction of tau 2 at this point. So first we will join a straight line from this center to this point, and then tau 2 will be perpendicular to this straight line like this, like this. Okay, tau 2 will be perpendicular to this straight line. Do you remember this? Tau 2 will be perpendicular to this straight line. Do you remember this? I told you this in case of torsion. Whenever there is torque and you need to find direction of tau, what do? Join a straight line from that point to center, and then tau will be perpendicular to that line. Do you remember this, my friend? So my friend, we need to find the direction of tau 2 at this point. So what we will do? Join a line from center to this point, and tau 2 will be perpendicular. So direction of tau 2 will be like this. Direction of tau 2 will be like this. Okay, at this point. Okay, direction of tau 2 at this point will be like this, and it will be clockwise. Torque is acting anti-clockwise, so in order to resist that, tau 2 will be clockwise. Okay, here what will be the direction of tau 2? Here, this is the line. Okay, this is the line. So perpendicular to this line. Perpendicular to this line means it will be like this. Here, perpendicular to this line. Perpendicular to this line. So it will be like this. Here, perpendicular to this line. Perpendicular to this line. So it will be like this. And they will all be clockwise. They will all be clockwise. This is tau 2, tau 2, tau 2. Okay, so we have considered 4 points. We have considered 4 points. This point, this point, this point, and this point. Just to understand the directions of tau 1 and tau 2. So do you understand the directions of tau 1 and tau 2? Now we need to find tau maximum. We need to find tau maximum. Why we need to find tau maximum? Because springs are also made of ductile material. Springs are also made of ductile material. So they are also designed according to maximum shear stress theory. So we will calculate tau maximum. Now out of these 4 points, where will you get tau maximum? इन 4 पॉइंट्स में सबसे ज्यादा टाउ आपको कहां मिलने वाला है बताइए. आपको टाउ 1 की डायरेक्शन पता है, आपको टाउ 2 की डायरेक्शन पता है, तो टाउ 1 और टाउ 2 की डायरेक्शन के हिसाब से आपको सबसे ज्यादा टाउ कहां मिलने वाला है बताइए. इन दोनों पॉइंट्स पे नहीं मिलेगा क्योंकि टाउ 1 और टाउ 2 अलग अलग डायरेक्शन में जा रहे हैं, उनका रिजल्टेंट कम आएगा. इन दोनों पॉइंट्स में दोनों का डायरेक्शन वाई डायरेक्शन है, लेकिन यहां पे दोनों ऑपोजिट है एंड यहां पे दोनों सेम डायरेक्शन में है. So tau will be maximum at which point? Let's say this is point A, point B, point C, point D. So tau will be maximum at point B. Tau will be maximum at point B, my friend. Tau will be maximum. We will get tau maximum at point B. Okay, and what will be the value of tau maximum, my friend? Tau maximum will be equal to tau 1 plus tau 2. Do you understand this much, my friend? In every book you will see they will directly add tau 1 and tau 2, but the students are confused why they are directly adding tau 1 and tau 2. So I have explained in detail why do you add tau 1 and tau 2. They are not added at every point. Okay, on the cross section of the spring, at every point directions of tau 1 and tau 2 are different, but at one point they both will be in the same direction. This point, at point B, they both are in the same direction. At every other point they will be in different directions, so you cannot directly add them, but at this point they are in the same direction and you can directly add them, tau 1 plus tau 2. Do you understand this much? Now my friend, put the values in the equation. What you will get? Tau maximum is equal to tau 1. What is tau 1? 4p by pi d square. 4p by pi d square. And tau 2, 8pd by pi d cube. 8pd, sorry, 8pd by pi d cube. So this is the equation of tau maximum. This is the equation of tau maximum, my friend. Okay. Now can we take 8pd by pi d cube common out of this equation? Yes, we can. We can take 8pd by pi d cube. Common from this equation. So what you are going to get, my friend? Here what you are going to get? Here you are going to get this, my friend. Here you are going to get 2 by, sorry. Here you are going to get 2 into small d by capital D, right? 2 into small d, sorry. What you are going to get? Here what you are going to get? 8 pd by pi d cube if you take common. So you will get this. Small d by 2 capital D. Right? Small d by 2 capital D. So this d and d will be cancelled. You will get pi d square. This d and d will be cancelled. You will get p. And this 2, 4, 8 will be cancelled. You will get 4. Okay? Plus 1. Do you understand this much? I have taken 8 pd by pi d cube common. So from this first term you will get d by 2d plus 1. Now my friend, this ratio d by 2d is very less than 1. This ratio is very less than 1. Okay, small d and capital D. Compare them. What is small d? It is the wire diameter. It is the diameter of the wire, and capital D is this helix diameter. Okay, so my friend, this small d divided by 2 capital D is very less than 1. So what we can assume, this quantity is almost equal to 1. This is a very small quantity. So if you add a very small quantity in 1, you will almost get 1. Okay, so we can write tau maximum is almost equal to 8 pd by pi d cube. 8 pd by pi d cube. I am assuming that small d by capital D, this is a very small quantity, so I am ignoring this quantity. Okay, I am ignoring this quantity. This is a very small quantity, so I am ignoring this quantity so that my equation will be easier. See, now you are getting a simple equation. Okay, if you consider this, your equation will be complicated. Okay, but if you ignore this value because it is very small quantity, you can ignore this and you will get this very simple equation, my friend. So this is the equation of tau maximum in case of spring, which you need to remember. Okay, and how we derived this? First we derived the value of tau 1 and tau 2. Tau 1 is developed due to P and tau 2 is developed due to PD by 2. Then we saw that at point B, both are in same direction. So tau maximum we will get at point B, which will be tau 1 plus tau 2. Because both are in same direction, we can directly add them. Okay. And my friend, if you ignore this quantity d by 2d, which is very small than 1, then you get this equation 8 pd by pi d cube. Do you understand this? This is a very important equation. You have to memorize this equation. Tau max equals to 8 pd by pi d cube. Okay. Now this was the equation of stress. We also need to find deflection, right? We also need to find deflection. So how will we find deflection, my friend? Consider this as a shaft. Consider this as a shaft which is subjected to torque. Consider this as a shaft which is subjected to torque. What will be the value of theta? What will be the value of theta? T into L by G into J. Right? I can consider this like a shaft. एक शाफ्ट की तरह अज्यूम कर सकते हैं इसको. स्प्रिंग को खोल दिया है, अभी आसान करने के लिए स्प्रिंग को खोल दिया है, तो एक शाफ्ट की तरह अज्यूम कर सकते हैं. And if you are considering this as a shaft which is subjected to torque, then theta will be TL by GJ. What is your torque? PD by 2. Your torque is PD by 2. What is the length? Length will be pi dn. N are the number of turns. Okay, N are the number of turns. Sorry, मैंने यहाँ small n ले लिया है. This should be capital N. This should be capital N. So N are the number of turns. Okay. तो एक टर्न का लेंथ कितना होगा? What will be the length of one turn? Pi d. The length of one turn circumference is equal to pi d, and there are n number of turns. So total length will be pi dn. एक टर्न का लेंथ होगा pi d. एक टर्न ऐसा जो होगा उसका लेंथ होगा pi d सर्कमफेरेंस के बराबर, और ऐसे n नंबर ऑफ टर्न्स है तो खोलोगे तो कितना मिलेगा लेंथ? pi dn. So length will be pi dn. Length will be pi dn divided by g into j. J will be pi by 32 d to the power 4. So what we will get theta, 32 ऊपर 2 नीचे, ये d ये कितना हो जाएगा 16 pd स्क्वायर, 16 ये पाई पाई कैंसिल हो जाएगा, pd स्क्वायर n divided by gd to the power 4, right? You are getting this 16 pd square n, 16 pd square n divided by gd to the power 4. But this is the angle of twist. We don't need angle of twist. हमको angle of twist नहीं चाहिए. हमको क्या चाहिए, जब इस स्प्रिंग के ऊपर लोड लगेगा तो ये कितना डिफ्लेक्ट होगा, एक्सियली कितना डिफ्लेक्ट होगा. ओके, जब इस स्प्रिंग के ऊपर लोड लगेगा तो एक्सियली ये कितना डिफ्लेक्ट होगा. सो वी नीड एक्सियल डिफ्लेक्शन. सो लेट्स से एक्सियल डिफ्लेक्शन इज इक्वल टू डेल्टा. ओके, लेट्स से एक्सियल डिफ्लेक्शन मतलब स्प्रिंग के ऊपर मैं ऐसा लोड लगा रहा हूं ना, तो इस लोड की डायरेक्शन में ये कितना ज्यादा फैल रहा है, ये कितना बड़ा हो रहा है. ओके, स्प्रिंग को पकड़ के खींचोगे तो ये कितना बड़ा होगा, दैट इज इक्वल टू डेल्टा. ओके, एक्सियल डिफ्लेक्शन. ओके, सो हाउ वी विल फाइंड एक्सियल डिफ्लेक्शन माय फ्रेंड. लेट्स कंसीडर 1 टर्न. ओके, एक टर्न कंसीडर करते हैं अभी, एक टर्न कंसीडर करते हैं अभी, एक टर्न कंसीडर करते हैं अभी. ठीक है, राइट नाउ द टर्न वाज लाइक दिस. Right now the turn was like this. Right now the turn was like this. Okay, right now the turn was like this. Okay, अब ये एंगल थीटा से डिफ्लेक्ट हो गया, अब ये एंगल थीटा से डिफ्लेक्ट हो गया. So turn became like this. After twisting by angle theta, the turn became like this. After twisting by angle theta, this angle is theta. This angle is theta. Okay. But I don't want this angle. Okay, I don't want this angle. ये पूरा एंगल जो है ये थीटा है. I don't want this angle. What I want this axial deflection, my friend. इस सेंटर और इस सेंटर के बीच का डिस्टेंस कितना है. I want this axial deflection. Okay, I want this axial deflection delta. I have this value theta कि ये थीटा एंगल से ट्विस्ट हो रहा है. कितना ट्विस्ट हुआ ये मुझे पता है, बट मुझे ये वैल्यू चाहिए कि ये कितना ऊपर गया. मुझे ये वैल्यू चाहिए. मुझे ये नहीं चाहिए कि कितना टर्न हुआ, ये कितने एंगल से टर्न हुआ. मुझे ये चाहिए कि ये स्प्रिंग कितना ऊपर गया. जब ये फैला तो क्या हुआ, स्प्रिंग ऐसा था तो ये ऐसा टर्न हो गया, फैला. ठीक है, तो मुझे ये डिस्टेंस निकालना है. आई नीड दिस डिस्टेंस डेल्टा. सो फ्रॉम दिस ट्राइंगल कैन आई कैलकुलेट द डिस्टेंस, माय फ्रेंड. फ्रॉम दिस पॉइंट टू दिस पॉइंट, what will be the distance? What will be the distance? This will be d by 2. So I have this d by 2 and I have this delta. Sorry, I have this theta. So can I calculate delta? इस ट्रायंगल को देखो, अभी इस ट्रायंगल को देखो. ये कुछ ऐसा ट्रायंगल बन रहा है, ये कुछ ऐसा ट्रायंगल बन रहा है, ये कुछ ऐसा ट्रायंगल बन रहा है. This is what? This is delta. This is d by 2 and this is theta. So can I calculate delta from this? Can I calculate delta from this? Can I write this? Tan theta will be equal to delta upon d by 2. Can I write this? And if theta is very small, if theta is very small, theta or tan theta, if theta is very small, then tan theta is almost equal to theta. So can I write this? Theta is equal to delta upon d by 2. Tan theta is delta upon d by 2, but if theta is very small, tan theta is almost equal to theta. So can I write this? Theta equals to delta upon d by 2. So delta will be equal to d by 2 multiplied by theta. Just put the value of theta here. We have already calculated theta. 16 pd square n by gd to the power 4. 16 pd square n by gd to the power 4. So what will you get? What will you get? Delta will be equal to 8 p d cube n. ये स्मॉल n नहीं है, ये कैपिटल n है. बार बार मैं स्मॉल n लिख देता हूं, सॉरी. पी डी क्यूब n divided by gd to the power 4. This is a very important equation my friends. ये भी आपको याद रखना है, बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट इक्वेशन है. डेल्टा की इक्वेशन, टाउमैक्स की इक्वेशन तो हमने डिराइव कर ली थी. 8 pd by pi d cube. This is the equation of delta. 8 pd cube n by gd to the power 4. ओके, तो हमने क्या कंसिडर किया? पहले हमने थीटा निकाला, कितने एंगल से ये रोटेट करेगा, और फिर हमने निकाला कि अगर ये थीटा एंगल से रोटेट करेगा तो कितना ऊपर जाएगा. जब ये स्प्रिंग एक्सियल लोड इसके ऊपर लगेगा तो ये फैलेगा, तो ये कितना फैल रहा है ये हमको कैलकुलेट करना था. सो दैट इज 8 pd cube n by gd to the power 4 my friends. ओके, सो these are the equations of Taumax and delta. कुछ और इक्वेशंस भी हैं स्प्रिंग के केस में, जैसे कि स्टिफनेस. Okay, so what is stiffness my friend? What is stiffness? Stiffness is load required for unit deflection. Stiffness is load required for unit deflection, P by delta. तो अगर मैं यहां पे वैल्यू रखूंगा तो K की वैल्यू क्या आएगी? P by delta. अगर मैं वैल्यू रखूंगा तो क्या आएगी? GD to the power 4 by 8d cube n. This is another very important equation, लेकिन इसको याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है. क्यों? अगर आपको डेल्टा याद है तो p by delta करके ये मिल जाएगा. If you remember delta, just p by delta and just put the value in p by delta and you will get the value of K. So this is the stiffness of the spring my friend. This is also known as spring rate. Okay, it is also known as spring rate. इसको spring rate भी बोलते हैं. इसको स्प्रिंग रेट भी बोलते हैं. सो दिस इज स्प्रिंग रेट और स्टिफनेस. एंड माय फ्रेंड देयर इज अनदर टर्म नोन एज कंप्लायंस. एंड व्हाट इज कंप्लायंस माय फ्रेंड? कंप्लायंस इज 1 by stiffness. ओके, कंप्लायंस इज 1 by stiffness. ओके, तो कभी कभी ये भी पूछ देता है, ठीक है, कभी कभी ये भी पूछ देता है, कभी कभी कंप्लायंस भी पूछ देता है. सो कंप्लायंस इज नथिंग बट it is the inverse of stiffness. Okay, compliance is nothing but inverse of stiffness. Okay, so stiffness, spring rate, compliance कुछ भी पूछेगा, then you don't have to remember all these equations separately, just remember the equation of delta. Okay, so tau max, delta. Another thing is strain energy. Strain energy stored in spring. Strain energy stored in spring. So what will be the strain energy my friend? U will be equal to half into P into delta. ठीक है? Again we don't need to remember the equation of strain energy. Just remember the equation of delta and put the value here. Half into P into delta. Do you remember this? Do you understand this? So stiffness and strain energy. These are another two values which are very important in case of spring. कितनी स्टिफनेस है और कितना एनर्जी स्टोर करेगा, these are also two very important parameters. Okay, so you need to remember only two equation of tau max and equation of delta. These equations are very easy. K will be P by delta and strain energy will be half P into delta. Okay, now my friend, very important topic, Wahl's correction factor. You will see a lot of theory questions based on Wahl's correction factor. So what is Wahl's correction factor? Let's understand that. Okay, see, when we are calculating the equation of stress, we ignored two things. We ignored the curvature of spring right? We assumed that the spring is a straight member, so we ignored the curvature of spring, and we also ignored this value. We ignored this term, direct shear stress. Okay, we ignored this term, direct shear stress. We are only assuming that tau maximum is equal to 8 PD by pi d cube, because this thing is very small, so we ignored this value. We ignored this value. We ignored direct shear stress. So in calculation of tau max, in calculation of tau max, we ignored two things. First, curvature of spring. Spring is a curved member ना. स्प्रिंग जो है वो कर्व्ड मेंबर है, स्ट्रेट मेंबर तो है नहीं, लेकिन हमने स्ट्रेट मेंबर मान लिया, ठीक है. एंड सेकेंड थिंग दैट वी इग्नोर्ड वाज डायरेक्ट शियर स्ट्रेस. डायरेक्ट शियर स्ट्रेस को भी इग्नोर कर दिया. ओके, सो जो टाउ मैक्स हम कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं, इट इज नॉट द एक्चुअल टाउ मैक्स. द एक्चुअल टाउ मैक्स शुड बी ग्रेटर देन दिस वैल्यू, राइट? सो टाउ मैक्सिमम इज इक्वल टू kW multiplied by 8 PD by pi d cube. हम उसको कंपेंसेट करने के लिए, इन दोनों को कंपेंसेट करने के लिए एक फैक्टर यूज कर रहे हैं, विच इज नोन एज वॉल्स करेक्शन फैक्टर. विच इज नोन एज वॉल्स करेक्शन फैक्टर. kW is known as Wall's correction factor. So do you understand this? Do you understand this? What is Wall's correction factor? When we calculate tau maximum, we ignored curvature of spring and direct shear stress, right? We ignored curvature of spring and direct shear stress. Okay, so my friend, actual tau max should be greater than this value, na? So what we are doing, we are multiplying this value with some factor. In order to compensate both these things, we are multiplying kW in this equation. This kW is known as Wall's correction factor, my friend. Okay, Wall's correction factor will be greater than 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Okay, and how do we calculate Wall's correction factor? Wall's correction factor is this: 4c minus 1 divided by 4c minus 4 plus 0.615 by c. This is Wall's correction factor. This is Wall's correction factor. This is Wall's correction factor. And my friend, what is C in this equation? What is C in this equation? What is C in this equation? C in this equation is known as spring index, capital D by small d. Okay, its value is around 8 to 10. Okay, its value is around 8 to 10 usually. Okay, usually its value is around 8 to 10. So spring index is capital D by small d. So if you put the value of spring index, you can calculate Wall's correction factor. Okay, but my friend, this is only for theory. न्यूमेरिकल्स में जब तक आपको वॉल्स करेक्शन फैक्टर यूज करने नहीं बोलता है, तब तक आपको ये यूज नहीं करना है. तब तक आप इस फैक्टर को 1 मान के चलेंगे. इफ इट इज मेंशन्ड इन द क्वेश्चन दैट यूज वॉल्स करेक्शन फैक्टर, देन ओनली यू विल यूज इट. अदरवाइज you will simply use this equation 8 PD by pi d cube. You will not multiply kW. Only multiply kW if there is mention of Wall's correction factor. Otherwise, ignore this. I am telling you this for theory. So for theory question, you need to remember this equation. There will be theory question based on this equation. 4c minus 1 by 4c minus 4 plus 0.61 by c. This is Wall's correction factor, which is to compensate two things: curvature of spring and direct shear stress. Do you understand this much? Let's solve a numerical. A helical compression spring made of a wire of circular cross section is subjected to compressive load. अब यहाँ ये सोच के मत confuse होना. Don't get confused that it is a compression spring, but we have derived the equation for tensile spring. doesn't matter if there is helical spring in the question, use the same equation. Okay, it doesn't matter even if the question in the exam is based on open coil or closed coil spring, you will use the same equation. Okay, all right. The maximum shear stress in the cross section is 24 megapascal. For the same load, if wire diameter and mean coil diameter both are doubled, then what will be the maximum shear stress? Do you understand the question? Maximum shear stress right now is 24, but if you double the wire diameter and mean coil diameter, then what will be the tau maximum? Okay, so what is the equation of tau maximum? What is the equation of tau maximum? This question is from GATE 2017, 2 marks question. Okay, so see how easily you can solve this question. Very easy to solve. Questions based on shaft and spring, very easy to solve. Okay, so what is the equation, my friend? 8 PD by pi d cube, right? If you double the diameter, mean coil diameter and wire diameter, then what will happen? Then what will happen, my friend? Tau maximum in the second case divided by tau maximum in the first case will be equal to, this will become, in the second case it will become 2d and 2d whole cube, first case d and d cube, right? Second case 2d and 2d whole cube, first case d and d. Okay, so d cube will be cancelled. What you will get? Tau maximum in second case divided by tau maximum in first case will be equal to, this will become 2 divided by, this will become 8, means 1 by 4. So tau maximum in second case will be equals to tau maximum in first case divided by 4, means 24 by 4. So it will become 6 megapascal. Very easy, 6 megapascal, right? Initially it was 24, but now I have doubled the wire diameter and mean coil diameter. Okay, so it will become 2 by 8. Okay, this is 2d whole cube. Okay, so 2 by 8 means 1 by 4. So 6 megapascal. Very easy question. GATE 2017, 2 marks question. Can you imagine how easy it was? Second question. This is from GATE 95. Again 2 marks question. Okay, so what is this question? Deflection of a spring with 20 active turns under a load of 1000 Newton is 10 mm. Spring is made into 2 pieces, each of 10 active coils, and placed in parallel under the same load. Deflection of the system is. Look at the arrangement, my friend. Initially it had 20 turns, and then what we did? We made it into 2 pieces, each of 10 turns. Okay, we cut the spring into 2 pieces, each of 10 turns, and then we placed in parallel. Okay, so initially it was like this. Initially it was like this. Initially it was like this. Okay, initially it was like this. Then we have cut the spring into 2 pieces. We have cut the spring into 2 pieces. Okay, this is one piece, this is one piece. Okay, and then we place them in parallel. We place them in parallel like this. This is the parallel connection. याद है स्कूल में बहुत बनाए होंगे इनके ऊपर क्वेश्चन, सीरीज कनेक्शन, पैरेलल कनेक्शन, राइट? So my friend, let's say initially the stiffness of the spring was K. So if you cut them into 2 pieces, what will happen, my friend? What is the equation of K? What is the equation of K? K is equal to GD to the power 4 by 8D cube L. Okay, K is equal to GD to the power 4, एक second, GD to the power 4 by 8D cube N. If you cut the number of turns, if you cut the spring, G, D, capital D, they are not going to change. What is going to change? N is going to change. So K is inversely proportional to N, number of turns. So if number of turns are half, K will be double my friend. If number of turns are half, अगर आप कट करोगे उसको दो पीस में, हाफ में, तो n हाफ हो जाएगा, और अगर n हाफ हो जाएगा तो k क्या हो जाएगा, डबल हो जाएगा. K is inversely proportional to n. So if you cut the spring into two half, n will be half, then k will become double my friend. तो इसका नंबर, इसका स्टिफनेस हो जाएगा 2k 2k. This is 2k, this is 2k. So नया स्टिफनेस क्या हो जाएगा? What will be the new stiffness? What will be the new stiffness? In case of parallel connection, just add them. Just add their stiffness. Series connection में क्या होता है? 1/2k plus 1/2k. Parallel connection में directly add कर दो. So you will get 4k. You will get 4k. Do you understand this? If you cut the spring into two halves and then you parallelly connect them, the new stiffness will become 4k. Why? Because when you cut them, it will become 2k and 2k, and you have connected them in parallel. Okay, so 2k and 2k, they will directly add and they will give you 4k. Series connection में क्या होता है? 1/2k plus 1/2k. लेकिन parallel connection में directly add कर सकते हैं, so 2k 2k 4k. So now new stiffness is 4k. What was the old stiffness, my friend? Now you need to calculate the deflection. So what is the relation between stiffness and deflection? K equals to P by delta. So K is inversely proportional to delta. K is inversely proportional to delta. So if K becomes 4 times, delta becomes 1/4. Okay, if K becomes 4 times, delta nu will become delta by 4. Very easy. K को 4 गुना कर दिए तो डेल्टा 1/4 हो जाएगा ना. K बढ़ेगा तो डेल्टा कम होगा. देख लो, K बढ़ेगा तो डेल्टा कम होगा, राइट? तो K को 4 गुना बढ़ा रहे हैं तो डेल्टा 4 गुना कम होगा ना. So delta nu will be delta by 4. So initially delta was 10 mm. So now what will be delta? Now what will be delta? 10 by 4. Now what will be delta? 10 by 4 means 2.5 mm. Very easy. 2.5 mm. Do you understand this? New stiffness is 4 times 4k. So new delta will be 2.5 mm. D. Very simple. Very simple, my friend. So these are the types of numericals you will get in the exam, my friend. You can see that they are very easy to solve. You only have to remember tau maximum and delta equation, and you can solve any question based on spring. Okay, so this was design of springs, my friend, and design of shafts. We have completed design of shaft and design of spring, the easiest topic in machine design, my friend. Okay, now whatever I am explaining here, whatever I am covering here, this is just a trailer, my friend. Okay, I am not able to cover all the topics in great detail. So if you want to study in great detail, if you want to score, if you want to get rank, अगर rank लेके आनी है, so get Unacademy Plus subscription. क्यों मैं बोलता हूँ Unacademy Plus subscription लेने के लिए? Because Unacademy Plus is an online learning platform. YouTube is not a learning platform, my friend. YouTube is an entertainment platform which we are using for learning. But still there are some tools which are not available on YouTube. They are available on Unacademy Plus. तो Unacademy Plus जो है बेटा लर्निंग के लिए बनी है, स्पेशली ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स के लिए बनी है जो कोचिंग क्लासेस अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते, बहुत ज्यादा पैसा नहीं दे सकते. यहाँ आपको क्या क्या एडवांटेज देखने को मिलता है? डेली लाइव क्लासेस होती हैं, हिंदी में भी और इंग्लिश में भी, तो कोई लैंग्वेज का प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता, कोई लैंग्वेज बैरियर नहीं होता. हर एग्जाम के लिए क्रैश कोर्सेज होते हैं. गेट का एग्जाम हो, ईएस का एग्जाम हो, कोल इंडिया, किसी भी एग्जाम के लिए आपको क्रैश कोर्सेज मिल जाएंगे ताकि आप रिवाइज कर सको. आपको डाउट क्लियरिंग सेशंस मिलता है. हर 4th लेक्चर डाउट क्लियरिंग सेशन होता है. आपका 25% लेक्चर डाउट क्लियरिंग सेशन होता है. रैंक इंप्रूवमेंट बैच, अगर आपने पिछले साल गेट दिया था, आपकी रैंक उतनी अच्छी नहीं आई, आपके बेसिक स्ट्रांग है, बस आपको रैंक इंप्रूव करनी है, देन यू विल हैव रैंक इंप्रूवमेंट बैच. न्यू बैचेस स्टार्ट हो रहे हैं बेटा 1 जून से. न्यू बैचेस स्टार्ट हो रहे हैं 1 जून से, जिसमें मैं सारे डिजाइन के सब्जेक्ट पढ़ाने वाला हूं और जिन चीजों को हमने YouTube पे नहीं देखा है वो कॉन्सेप्ट हम कवर करेंगे। ऐसे कॉन्सेप्ट हम कवर करेंगे कि आप देखते रह जाओगे, हैरान रह जाओगे, जो आपको आज तक कभी किसी ने नहीं बताया होगा। सो 1 जून से रैंक इंप्रूवमेंट बैच भी चालू हो रहा है और गेट और ईएस का नया बैच भी चालू हो रहा है, ठीक है। वीकली टेस्ट भी होंगे यहां पे। और बेटा सबसे फायदेमंद चीज क्या है, अगर आप क्लासरूम में पैसे देके जब बैच ज्वाइन करते हो, आप कोई एक बैच ज्वाइन कर सकते हो, मल्टीपल बैचेस ज्वाइन नहीं कर सकते हो। यहां आप मल्टीपल बैचेस ज्वाइन कर सकते हो। यहां पे डिफरेंट एजुकेटर्स जो हैं वो अपनी बैचेस बनाते हैं और आपका मन करे तो आप एक से ज्यादा बैचेस ज्वाइन कर लो, आपका मन करे 2 बैच ज्वाइन कर लो, 4 बैच ज्वाइन कर लो, आपके ऊपर है। हालांकि आपको जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, बट एटलीस्ट यू आर हैविंग अ चॉइस। आपको चॉइस तो मिल रही है कि आपका पसंदीदा बैच आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हो और उसके लिए आपको कोई एक्स्ट्रा फी नहीं देनी पड़ेगी। आप एक ही बार फी पे करोगे, एक ही बार सब्सक्रिप्शन लोगे और आप कोई भी बैच ज्वाइन कर सकते हो जब आपका मन करे। और माय फ्रेंड, आप अगर सोच रहे हो कि ऑनलाइन लर्निंग कैसी होगी, तो ऐसी होगी माय फ्रेंड। ये देखिए इमेजेस, लुक एट दिस किलर विजुअलाइजेशन। इस टाइप का विजुअलाइजेशन अगर आपको मिले तो आप समझ सकते हो आपके लिए चीजों को समझना कितना आसान हो जाएगा। ऐसी कलरफुल इमेजेस के साथ जब आप पढ़ोगे तो आपके लिए इन चीजों को पढ़ना, इन चीजों को समझना कितना आसान हो जाएगा। सो दिस इज द एडवांटेज ऑफ ऑनलाइन लर्निंग माय फ्रेंड। लैपटॉप में ऐसा दिखेगा, मोबाइल में ऐसा दिखेगा, आपको बहुत सहूलियत होगी पढ़ने में। और माय फ्रेंड, YouTube में और अनअकैडमी में बहुत डिफरेंस है। एक डिफरेंस जो मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा, लुक एट दिस, कैन यू सी दिस इमेज। ये इमेज एक स्टूडेंट ने पोस्ट की है अपने डाउट को लेके, ठीक है। आपको कोई भी डाउट आता है, आप उसका फोटो खींचो और आप उसको भेज दो। आपका टीचर जो है आपके सामने लाइव उस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करेगा, ताकि आपके डाउट जो है वो तुरंत सॉल्व होते रहे। ये चीज YouTube में पॉसिबल है नहीं है। और माय फ्रेंड, लाइव पोलिंग और लीडर बोर्ड, मतलब अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चन हम सॉल्व कर रहे हैं तो लाइव पोलिंग होगी, ताकि आपको वो कॉम्पिटिटिव एनवायरनमेंट मिले। कौन सही जवाब देगा, आप लोग, आपकी रैंक कितनी है, बैच में जितने भी बच्चे हैं उनमें आपकी रैंक कितनी है और आपने कितना जल्दी जवाब दिया है। तो आपकी टाइमिंग सुधरेगी, आपकी एक्यूरेसी सुधरेगी, आपको वो कॉम्पिटिटिव एनवायरनमेंट मिलेगा जो यूट्यूब पे पॉसिबल नहीं है। तो ये एक छोटा सा डिफरेंस है यूट्यूब में और अनअकैडमी में। ऐसे बहुत सारे डिफरेंस है। आप अनअकैडमी प्लस पे आकर देखिए, तब आपको क्लियर होगा कि अनअकैडमी प्लस क्यों बेटर है यूट्यूब से। सो माय फ्रेंड, इफ यू वांट टू ज्वाइन अनअकैडमी, हर स्टूडेंट आज की डेट में ज्वाइन कर रहा है अनअकैडमी, रोज ज्वाइनिंग हो रही है, रोज नए बच्चे जुड़ रहे हैं बैच में। सो डोंट बी लेट, गो टू unacademy.com/plus। आपको एक गोल पिक करना होगा। आपका गोल क्या है? गेट और इंजीनियरिंग सर्विसेज। फिर आपको चूज करना होगा 1 मंथ, 3 मंथ, 6 मंथ, 1 ईयर, 2 ईयर, कौन सा सब्सक्रिप्शन ले। मैं बोलूंगा 1 ईयर और 2 ईयर। क्यों? क्योंकि पर मंथ कॉस्ट जो है वो बहुत कम पड़ती है, पर मंथ कॉस्ट बहुत कम पड़ती है। और अगर आप ये कोड यूज करोगे आपको 10% ऑफ मिलेगा। अप्रूव 10, इफ यू यूज दिस यू विल गेट 10% ऑफ। ईएमआई पे भी आप ले सकते हो, ईएमआई पे भी आप ले सकते हो। डेबिट कार्ड और क्रेडिट कार्ड दोनों पे है ईएमआई। और ईएमआई अगर आप भरोगे 1 साल में, आपको 1875 रुपीज पर मंथ देना पड़ेगा। सिर्फ 1875 रुपीज पर मंथ ओनली। और आप ऐसे धुरंधर टीचर्स से पढ़ सकते हो, अमेजिंग टीचर्स से पढ़ सकते हो, जिससे चाहो उससे पढ़ सकते हो, जितने लेक्चर्स चाहो उतने लेक्चर देख सकते हो। सिर्फ 1875 रुपीज पर मंथ। डोंट फॉरगेट टू यूज दिस कोड, 1875 रुपीज पर मंथ, सिर्फ इतना ही कॉस्ट है और आप जितने लेक्चर्स चाहे उतने देख सकते हैं। सो दिस वाज फॉर टुडेज लेक्चर। कल दोबारा मिलेंगे एक नए टॉपिक के साथ, एक नए लेक्चर के साथ। थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर वॉचिंग।